Welcome back all, this is Daz from Model Techniques. So up this week we're going to look at some storage options. So if you're like me, keeping your model railroad or model railway hobby bench clean from clutter can be a real challenge. It is for me anyway. Put any comments in the comment section below. So where this is going, my hypothesis on average, if I'm the average modeler, we hoard, well I know I do anyway, conservatively probably several thousand little individual parts. So I'm talking screws, tools, detail parts, you name it, bare parts, electrical components, all those little knickknacks that you just might use one day, and this number is growing by the day, the month and the year. Does this sound familiar to you?
When all is said and done, time is very precious. Is this you? Spending way too much time trying to find items, which takes away precious modelling time. Yep, that's me too. I've looked into numerous storage options such as IKEA boxes sitting on shelves, and trays, IKEA trays, trays within bigger trays, and not so useful drawers. The list could go on and on.
So what is the problem with current storage solutions?
So you'll have to agree that as you change your type of modelling you're working on, or the types of modelling you're working on, your storage system does not complement this change. So for example, as you may be working on some electronics and then to the scratch building or building kits, the storage system does not evolve with the changing landscape or the needs of the type of storage. The current system, as I just said, is just not designed to keep up with this type of change. After doing a lot of research, it's obvious there is just no standards out there.
So in our hobby, we are blessed with some really wonderful standards. So our hobby is bound by standards. So what I'm talking about is DCC standards made by the NMRA out of the US, and even down to scale sizes like 1:87. 1 to 220 for N scale and the like, and the list could go on and on. So basically everything we use in modelling has some sort of standard to it, like the lumber we use to make our bench work. So 4x2s, 4x8s, 4x10s, or whatever the lumber you're using has some sort of standard attached to it, even down to the track we lay, the code 83, code 100, even down to the geometry of the track in degrees.
With all these standardizations, our great hobby of ours, I can't get my plastic containers like my Tupperware containers to fit my electronic components neatly, let alone our bigger modelling items such as screws and tools to play nicely with my modelling tools at the workbench. So my question is, why isn't there any standards for storage? Yes, some of these systems do stack nicely together in your kitchen cupboards, but not a holistic approach for storage solutions. Some people out there want the same sort of standards that they can interlace between or interconnect, as we'll speak about shortly, in their sewing rooms, to their workshops, to their kitchens, to their garages, to their layout rooms. It needs to be flexible. In my mind, we need to stop wasting time and money if you are serious about hobby organisation. This is so we can use adaptations of bins, trays, bases, and all sorts of tool holding devices that can be flexible from area to area no matter where they are in the house or the layout room. I don't mean to be having soup ladles in the workshop, but being able to have 3D printed standardization that suits many different items throughout the whole ecosystem.
So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to delve a little bit more into the ecosystem, which I believe has three main philosophies for what may be touted as the perfect organizational system. So just before we start going into those, what we'll do, we'll quickly go over to my sponsor, PCBWay.com. So over to you guys and girls.
PCBWay offers a variety of services ranging from PCB production and assembly to 3D printing, CNC machining, in a variety of materials. If you do not have the correct tools for the job, you can quickly upload your Gerber file for a PCB and press enter and get a quote in no time at all. Then select your material, finish and other post-processing customization like PCB assembly, where all the components are added. If you are new to PCBs, their professional review team will review your file and notify you once they are good to be manufactured. This makes PCBWay a good option for your projects. Check out their awesome services in the link below and their offer to my viewers who support this channel.
So the first main philosophy is the grid system. So I've been doing a little bit of research on this. I think to a certain degree, the way that humans are structured, that we're at odds with this a little bit, and I'll try to explain the best way I can. So I love the analogy from Katie, who is a YouTuber from Wales, and her channel is Hands on Katie. So I will put a link in that description below. From the beginning of time, no matter how large or small, from planets to molecules, Mother Nature loves the smooth and the circular. If you go out into your world, yes, everything's like that. The erosion, the rocks, we're all about the flowers. It's all sort of smooth edges to it. But human loves the structure, and we like to be, on a whole, to be organised. Well, I love to be organised anyway. Over time, we sort of link this in. This has led to some haphazard approaches to what we see today in regards to standardisation, some rules and even laws to the extent.
So, for example, the National Model Railroad Association, or NMRA, was not only formed to promote fellowship amongst our modelers, but also to develop standards, or a set of rules, so to speak. This is most notable probably in the DCC standards that most companies use today. But why do we need the standards? In NMRA terms, it is to establish the set of limiting dimensions, electrical parameters, and communication parameters, so brands on the whole will be compatible with each other. So in regards to the grid system, basically this is to outline to make everything compatible with each other. So obviously we don't have that compatibility. We're going to come back to that tangled mesh that we currently got, or we had before.
Number two, it needs to have interconnectability. So what I mean by this is, the best way to liken it to our current modelling. So it's like having a Digitrax LocoNet BD168 occupancy dissection, which runs obviously a LocoNet protocol designed by Digitrax, and it plays nicely with my Roco Z21 DCC command system. So that's interconnectability. So two different brands, but using the one communication protocol play nicely. So that's interconnectability. I suppose what I'm trying to say is I don't see any difference between that and the differences I'm trying to achieve with my organisation of my workbench and my work areas. So you might be asking, what is the solution then with all this, what I'm calling chaos when it comes to the organisation? So with all the previously spoken about on Katie's YouTube channel and various other websites that I've poured across over the last few months to try to find out some sort of solution. So this is when I came across this YouTube channel from Katie, and I think she summarised it probably the best to bring it all together, and it sort of resonated with me to give me some sort of understanding and a way forward to achieve what I want to do for my organisational goals.
So from 3D printed bins, trays that I could use in my kitchen, my garage, my layout room to be interconnected with the bins and trays on my workbench, and on the walls surrounding my workbench, which was what we'll get into in subsequent videos. So with that in mind, it needs some sort of number three, which be a modular approach. The best example in the real world would be for website design. You look at most websites, if not all of them, are very modular, and the web designer can make them very adaptable to their needs. They are more easily edited for a website that is modular. In some regards, it's a little bit like building your Lego back in the day. Or you may still be building Lego. Even I've been able to put a website together. That's coming soon. So in SAW, everything just plays nicely and is very modular, interconnectable, and very grid-like.
So you might be asking, what is the solution then with all this, what I'm calling chaos when it comes to the organisation? So with all the previously spoken about on Katie's YouTube channel and various other websites that I've poured across over the last few months to try to find out some sort of solution. So this is when I came across this YouTube channel from Katie, and I think she summarised it probably the best to bring it all together, and it sort of resonated with me to give me some sort of understanding and a way forward to achieve what I want to do for my organisational goals. So how are we going to move forward with these organisations?
I'm definitely not that naive, and I'm never going to think that just one solution is going to solve all my clutter needs. But I have narrowed it down to just a few. We have varying types of items in our hobby rooms and our homes in general to store. There are vast differences in size, for example, resistors to large hobby hand saws, power tools, and the like.
It really comes down to 4 conditions, and I'll go through them step by step with you.
So number one on the list of conditions that we need to meet is bench tops or horizontal type surfaces for small parts like screws, small electrical components, and obviously in our world this list could go on in the hobby. This is my future self. Look how much extra room I've got in that drawer now that I've actually cleaned up and used the Grid-Lite modular Gridfinity, and I've actually ended up taking away some of the tools and that off my actual workbench and put them in the drawer because I got that much extra room. The beauty is it grows with you, or the way you change your modelling, or the way you change your mind, how you want to organise your stuff. Number 2, larger items on the bench such as bigger tools or even smaller power tools like Dremels and the like, and larger hand tools. Then we're looking at number 3, wall storage for that need to be visible and accessible in your hobby areas. So I'll probably be looking at doing some sort of cable management on my bench for my Arduino work. And number 4 would be wall storage for heavy items. This could store heavier power tools or even heavier household items.
So this obviously has broader meaning where you can bring this type of system into your kitchens, even your underwear drawer if that's what you want to do. I'm just going to particularly be talking about my hobby bench clutter, and I am going to, as the months go by and I print more and more items, I'm going to get it into my garage or my shop and into my layout room to help my organisation. So in this video I'm going to concentrate on my first areas of clutter, which is in around my workbench, which at this point in time will only appease sort of the condition number 1 that we've already spoken about, which is our small tools and our smaller parts on horizontal surfaces, and later on we'll go into the vertical type surfaces.
So let's address condition number 1, which is where this video and subsequent videos will be going, is Gridfinity. So this is for all your small parts and tool storage. I believe it really is a game changer. I don't know why I haven't found this earlier. It's what it is. It's a modular organisational system to help you keep your hobby space tidy and efficient. Gridfinity modules come in a variety of sizes, typically in dimensions such as 42mm by 42mm, which is approximately 1.6 inch squared for the imperial people in this world, and it grows in modular arrays. The parts and bins come from a huge open source online library, and on the most part are free to download and print. Once you go down this rabbit hole, there literally are hundreds if not thousands of bases, parts holders, bins, trays, and more of which are customizable using either OpenSCAD or a free version of Fusion 360, which is a CADware program. I have 3D printed dozens of items since getting my new Bamboo Labs PS1 filament printer. I plan to do probably hundreds more. It's just so much fun. Compared with my resin printer, these printers are so much fun to use, and there's no cleanup or messy resin and no UV curing.
So that's the end of the video. We've touched on a lot of things today to help all of us on our quest to get organised and clean up our mess, and I believe in so doing will save a lot of time looking for those tools and parts. In upcoming videos I'm going to look at the vertical surfaces that I spoke of before, the large type tool storage, and that opens up the rest of the conditions 2, 3 and 4 as we spoke about before. This system I believe will save a significant amount of time in the back end when you're trying to find these items. Besides the upfront cost of a 3D printer, but I'm using it for many other things within modelling anyway. These parts are often a lot cheaper than the substandard bought ones from other of our larger companies that you might be currently getting them from. So as I said, this is the end of the video. So like all other videos, I have 3 questions. So I'm very interested in you put in the comments section below. Now, number 1 is, what storage solutions are you using? Do you think they work for you? If so, why do they work for you? And the second part of this first question is, would you consider using something like this? So please reach out and I can help you out on your journey, whether it's pointing in the right direction where the files are or helping you buy at a small cost, printing some items out for you if you're in my part of the world. If you don't think this type of system is for you, what are you using to declutter? What other systems are available that I might have missed? And number 3, like always, if there's any glaring areas in this video, please let me know, and I'll attempt to right my wrongs in subsequent videos. So please have a look at the link below regarding my Patreon. Every little bit counts, so thank you to all the guys and gals out there that have already assisted me in buying more equipment and doing more videos such as this. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Make sure you subscribe, click that little bell icon to be notified of upcoming videos, support us on Patreon, like us on Facebook and Instagram at Model Railroad Technique.